podcast. I am Cammie Clements, the Hooked Hardy, and we have a very special guest with us today, Mr. Greyston Holt. Hi, Greyston.
Hi, Cammie. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. I know this is probably starting to amp up, a very busy time.
Oh, yes. The holiday season is upon us.
Yes, indeed. It's descending.
Yes.
So let's get started. I read that you recently just had a birthday, so happy birthday to you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Relatively recently.
A month ago.
Yeah. Actually, fun fact, that's my brother's birthday. So
no way.
Yeah.
How old's your brother?
45, I think.
Nice. 35. So he's 75, I'm 85.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
So I'm right in between the two of you.
Cool. You gave it away. You gave your age away.
No, I didn't. I said I'm in between.
In between. Well, I could do a little math. I can do math. I know I'm an actor, but I can do math.
Well, I'm with you. Math is not my strong suit either. All right. So, first of all, we just like to get started with asking how you got into the acting industry. Was it something that you always wanted to do, or was it something that kind of came along and you figured out that you wanted to do it? Tell us that story.
It kind of fell into my lap in that I was going into my final year of high school, and I needed an extra arts credit to graduate, and there were a few different options, and acting 12 was one of them, and I took it on a whim and really enjoyed it. And just so happened a woman who my mom worked with, her sister was an acting agent in Vancouver. And they got to talking, and she said if I want to meet her sister who's the agent, then they could hook up a meeting if I was serious about it, and I did, and we just sort of took it from there. And that was like 17 years ago, I think. So
wow.
Yeah, we've just been picking away at it, and I've had that same agent ever since. She's been my only agent up here in Canada. So yeah,
wow.
Which is rare. It's just something that I didn't realize, but the more you talk to actors, it's not common to have that kind of long-term relationship with an agent. But I kind of have always cherished that first and foremost with any sort of business I do, is just having a strong personal connection with the person.
No, I agree. I was that girl who was in drama the entire 4 years of high school and then majored in it in college. So yeah. So, and then just that it fell into your lap and then you never looked back.
I just kind of ran with it.
Yeah,
I was always kind of in the arts. Like I play guitar, I took music and that kind of thing, but acting was never something I considered until I took that class.
Well, and by all accounts, I haven't ever personally heard you play, but by all accounts, you're a fabulous musician. So that well, that's my next question. What's your first love? Is it acting or is it music?
Music.
Okay.
Yeah. Music, but the thing I like about acting is it's, and maybe it's just the type of person I am, being an only child or whatever the case, but I like that it's more of a solo endeavor. Like it's just me. Music, I mean, I guess music can be, but you definitely rely on more people, especially if you want a band, obviously. But I do like that it's sort of just me and my agent, obviously, as well. But the job is just up to me. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that acting career of yours. So first of all, I have to tell you, the first thing I ever saw you on, the first project I ever saw you on was All of My Heart with Lacey Chabert.
Oh yeah.
And then it's just kind of gone on from there. And I have to say, you have played some really, really great ex-boyfriends.
Thanks.
But what is your favorite part about playing the other man? Because that can either be a really fun thing or a really dreaded thing. So what's
I don't know. I think you just get to, I think playing those the other guy, you kind of get to push the boundaries a little more. You kind of, get to be more the jackass, or, it's, I find sometimes there's a little more room to play with that, being the leading man in these, you kind of just have to show up and sort of have that presence and sort of deliver that and have that like leading man type quality, but playing the some of the side roles and in particular like the other guy,
Uh-huh.
I play on a bit more of the character and sort of I don't know, play a little more.
Uh-huh. So then what's your
Mhm.
favorite thing about playing the leading man?
Well, I mean, I think that's every actor's goal,
Right.
to one extent or another. It's to be a leading actor. So, anytime that comes onto your lap, that it's a blessing because, so many actors work very hard and are just as talented and just as capable of pulling those off. Not everyone gets those roles. So it's
Right.
every time I do have one, I just feel very grateful to be in that position.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, do you have any hidden talents that your fans and movie watchers may not know about you? Because we know that you play the guitar. I'm assuming you also sing as
No, I don't sing.
no, you don't
Oh,
sing.
I'm a terrible
Okay.
singer. Hidden talents. I don't know. I mean, it's not really a talent, but I've been picking away at learning Italian for the last few years, and
Oh,
um,
wow.
my girlfriend Christina is Italian, and it's just something I was sort of inspired to pick up. And her nonna doesn't speak any English, so it sort of was a good push for me to learn a little bit. And I sort of fell in love with the language, and I just pick away at it here and there, and to the point where I can read Italian newspapers now, and
Oh,
I'm reading an Italian book right now, and speaking is always another thing. It's yeah, I Christina's fluent, but you'd think we would practice more, but we just life gets away on you sometimes, and
oh yeah.
it's an effort. It's a real effort to do it. So my speaking could be better, but my listening and reading is really good.
Well, that's fantastic. Have you ever been?
Yeah, a few times. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man.
Christina actually, her family has a place in the region called Abruzzo, which is 3 hours east of Rome,
Uh-huh.
in the mountains, in a tiny village called Falo, population like 50. So
Wow.
it's a really special place. Yeah, we're hoping
My
maybe.
mom.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
no, you go.
My mom's family is Italian, and it's been a lifelong goal of hers to go to Italy, and she just recently went to Rome and came back with all these stories, and I said, "Okay, stop. One day I'll get there."
Nice. Yeah, it's pretty magical. It's hard to imagine a more beautiful place.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine. So, speaking of Christina, you were in one of the first movies to be shot post lockdown, A
Yeah.
Wedding to Remember, correct?
Yeah, A Wedding to Remember. Yeah, sorry, the title changed. Yes, it's called A Wedding to
Right.
Remember now. Yeah, we were, if not the first production back after lockdown. We started shooting at the beginning of June, and
Yeah,
that was
that
a
was
little
early.
silver lining that COVID threw our way, in that they were hiring couples, real life
Uh-huh.
couples, to work around physical distancing. So they hired us as the two leads, and it was fun. It was amazing. Like
Tell
we're
us about it, because that's always been a dream of mine to do a project with my husband.
right.
My husband's not an actor, so that's not going to happen. So, but yeah.
It was amazing. Like we weren't sure initially, like if we thought maybe once we're actually doing it, or if once we got on set and started, some of the dialogue can be a little cheesy, and certainly not how we talk to one another. So we thought maybe it might be hard to get through the scenes. Um, but it wasn't. It was fun. It was such a blast. We were able to run, our scenes the night before filming, and
Yeah.
so it was just so easy, and it was a real treat.
And you can kiss all you want in the movie, right?
Yeah, they had to tone it down. We were all over each other. I kept forgetting. I kept doing this, like, early on in our storyline.
Uh-huh.
Just you're so comfortable. We've been together for 9 years.
Oh,
You're so
wow.
comfortable being around that person that you forget little things that you do in your personal life that you probably
Right.
shouldn't do in the movie. Your characters wouldn't do. And I kept like patting her on the bum and stuff, like as she walked away. But like, shit, Like at this point in the storyline, like our characters barely know each other. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Probably not the best choice for a
Yeah,
character at
or I
this
just like
point.
look too comfortable with her. You know what I mean? They had to like
Right.
find that distance.
Yeah, you kind of had to fall in love all over again, which can be easy but also difficult because of that level of comfort, just like you were talking about. So, on the COVID subject, how do you feel the British Columbia and pretty much the Canadian film industry has bounced back? Do you think that it's been
I
okay?
can't
Do you
speak.
think,
Yeah, the bounce back's been amazing. I can't speak as much for the rest of Canada. I know that their productions are happening.
right?
BC is as busy as we've ever been.
Well, that's
I read
good.
an article. We Before the shutdown, there were 41 productions, and right now there's over 60 productions in Vancouver right now.
Wow.
So the bounce back here has been strong. Yeah, yeah, and I think a
Wow.
lot of it is just the fact that American productions, couple months ago, it was really touch and go, and they just didn't want to take any risks. And the numbers were obviously worse in the U.S. So they were looking at BC, and BC really, we were very fortunate here, even compared to the rest of Canada, for having low numbers. So the film industry was really looking at BC as a potential for filming, and a lot of productions did come up here.
What was something about filming on set during COVID that you saw as a silver lining, other than obviously working with Christina? Was there something that wouldn't have happened if you had been on a set during regular times that kind of turned out to be a small miracle, or was there anything like that?
I don't know about that, but just the overall experience. Like for instance, our film, it was a 12-day shoot, and 10 of the 12 days we were on location at the resort we were staying at.
Oh,
So that's something they probably wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. But this at that point, hotels weren't real. I think they were open, but like essentially empty. So this resort, there were no guests, and they were sort of planning on it being empty. So
I
we
see.
had basically the resort to ourselves to film, to stay. Like our hair and makeup was down the hall from the room where we were staying, and so that was definitely a unique aspect of this that probably wouldn't have been the case if COVID wasn't a thing. So that was
Hmm.
kind of cool. Yeah.
Is there something that you had kind of taken for granted on normal sets that you appreciated more with a
Food, craft
food?
service, catering. I I didn't realize, like when I had my first project, like I didn't
Uh-huh.
realize that food is like you really get taken care of. Like there's food everywhere always.
Right,
And I
yeah.
think that's what's kept me in acting is the craft service and the lunch and the catering, the whole thing. And they still feed you, but it's different in that, like when you go to, and for people who don't know what craft service, it's like the snack table, that's
Right.
there, all coffee, pastries, whatever, fruit, and then a couple hot snacks throughout the day. But prior to COVID, you just go up and take what you want, and it's sort of just like open door policy.
Sure.
And then at lunch, there's usually a catering truck that makes food all day, and then
Uh-huh.
you take what you want off the truck, and then there's a big buffet, and it's amazing.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
now everything has to be prepacked. When you go to
Sure.
craft services, you got to ask what you want, and I mean, it's not it's not like such a first world problem, but
Right.
but it's one thing
Yeah.
that I did love. I mean, it's still there. You're still getting fed, but yeah, that's one thing that's changed since COVID for sure.
Oh man. So you've done a lot of roles for both Up TV and Hallmark here in the States. Is there a favorite role that you have on either or both networks? I know it might be kind of hard to differentiate them.
Uh, I really liked uh, I had an arc on Chesapeake Shores. Um,
Yes, a lot of
yeah,
our
I played.
listeners are Chesapeake, so I wanted to
Oh,
talk to
nice.
you about that anyway. So please go on.
Nice. Yeah, that was really fun. I played Jay Ross. He was an elementary school teacher, just a really like fun-loving, good guy. Um,
Ooh,
it kind of sort of his storyline came in to shake up things between Abby and, oh my God, I'm forgetting his character's name. Trace.
You were close.
Yeah, which we were supposed to be filming this past spring if COVID didn't happen.
Right.
I think their 5th season. But that was really fun. And also my one of my best friends, Andrew Francis, is on that as well. So he plays Connor. We didn't really we had one kind of overlap scene, but just to be on the show with him was fun too. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. We filmed that over on Vancouver Island, which is just a ferry ride away from Vancouver City.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful over there. So it's like a staycation sort of.
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. Some people on the Hallmarkies podcast team, they prefer him over Trace. Shh.
Apples and oranges. Like he's the, steamy, broody hunk, and then I'm like the good guy that makes her laugh. So I don't know what you go for.
I don't know. I mean, me personally, I might take the elementary school teacher, but that's just me. I used to teach elementary school, so.
Hey, I can crush juice boxes like no other,
Oh, I bet. I'm sure.
I know what women like. It's the man who can crush juice boxes. That's how I got Christina.
Oh, well, I'm just going to faint dead away now,
Yeah, so I was like, hey, have you ever heard of wine in a juice box? And she's like, no. And we just started.
Oh, you're not kidding. That's oh my gosh. You had me going.
Italian, she would shoot me if I brought her wine in a juice box.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, you had me. All right. Well, another role that you are very loved for that was on Hallmark Channel was Sam in Signed, Sealed, Delivered.
Okay. No way.
Yeah, the Postables are really, really big fans and they love Sam. So I actually put the question out into the Postable world and I said, what would you ask Greyston Holt, who played Sam? What would you ask him if you could? And so here are some things that they came up with. Do you really believe in soulmates?
Well, I don't really believe in souls, so.
Okay.
I don't. No, I don't. I just think through, chance of life, some people are fortunate enough to meet people that you're very compatible with. A soulmate, I don't know, but I think some people luck out. I feel like I lucked out, and some people don't. It's just like the luck of the draw. There's like, I don't know, 3.5 billion men and 3.5 billion women on this planet, and
right, yeah. So what was it like filming in such a beautiful place? Do you remember the name of the ranch? And the weather looked pretty cloudy. Did the weather give you trouble?
Yeah, that's at the I'm forgetting the name of it. It's called the Virtue Ranch. So Danny Virtue, he's a longtime stunt coordinator in the city here, and he has this beautiful ranch, and I don't know how many acres. It could be 100 acres. It's a beautiful property, but it's about an hour east of Vancouver in the valley, just tucked up against the mountains. But I filmed a couple projects there, and it's got like a river running through it. It's really stunning. Yeah.
Sounds like it. So that's something else that the Postables wanted to know. Are you truly an outdoorsy kind of guy, or were you just really, really good at acting out that role?
I'm pretty outdoorsy. I grew up on a small island, very rural. I grew up chopping firewood and fishing and making tree forts and just running around outside. So yeah.
Horseback riding?
No. I only since being an actor for a couple projects, I've been on a horse a couple times, but prior to that, no.
Oh wow! No. Well, you look very at home on a horse too. What was it like to work with the 4 Postables and Amelia Ullerup?
Great. Yeah, there's a nice contingent of Vancouver actors on that show. So I knew a few of them. So it was fun. Yeah, I mean,
Uh-huh.
they're all such great people. Amelia's awesome. I know her probably the best out of the cast. Her and her boyfriend Kyle. Um,
Husband.
husband, yeah. Yeah, I've known Kyle for many years. He's a great guy.
Oh,
So yeah, no, it's
wow.
fun. They're just, I don't know. They're like it. I think it shows in the show that they are, inherently good people at their
Yeah.
core. That's why those kind of shows work. You can't be an asshole, and I don't know. Maybe you can and turn it on for the camera and make it, but I don't think for that type of show I think it would shine through. So yeah, I think what you see when you watch that show is who those people are.
That's what so many of the guest stars and supporting cast have said, is that they are truly wonderful people. So you're just adding to the verification. And one more question about Sam. Was there anything about Sam that you could personally relate to?
It's so long ago, to be
It
honest. Like,
was, yeah.
yeah, um, maybe just being an outdoorsy guy. You know,
Uh-huh. Let's talk about your Christmas projects. You've got A Very Country Christmas, and that's put out a couple of installments, and you've got another one coming out. So how
yeah.
has that project been for you, starting at one point and coming to another? There have been what, three installments now?
There've been
Yeah,
three.
so how has that been for you, and what's been
It's
your
been
favorite
fun.
part about that?
I don't know. I guess playing a musician is definitely my favorite part about that
Yeah.
role. But the whole thing just blossomed into something bigger than I ever thought it would be. I did one assuming that was it. That was it, one and done. But I guess that first one did so well that they wanted to make more. So, and then the third one aired 2 days ago, I think, on
Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll see if people still like them. But it was, yeah.
By all accounts, by all accounts, I'm pretty sure that they do. So
Great.
I have yet to watch them myself, but they are on the schedule for this season. I'm very
There you
excited,
go. I'm
actually.
sure you must have an insanely long list.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could say that. Got lots to cover. Is there anything about this third installment that you can share that really stood out? Bloopers, favorite scene? It's already aired, so you can feel free to do spoilers.
I can't remember. You know what? It was such a blur shooting that one because it was right. We shot that the end of February into the beginning of March, so it was
Oh,
when everything was getting bad. We were fortunate enough to finish filming, but then it was like lockdown a few days later,
wow.
and at the time Christina was filming down in Argentina, and we were just worried about getting her back home safely. So it was like
Hmm.
that shoot. I felt like I was not like totally present. It was just the world
Hmm.
was such a weird place, and
Yeah.
Christina was so far away, and
Oh, that must have
yeah,
had
so
you worried
it
sick.
wasn't as light and fun as some of the past shoots, and I think
Right.
everybody felt the heaviness, especially
Yeah.
like the last week of filming. We're like, oh shit, this virus is the real deal. Like, we're gonna actually shut down, and you're like watching
Uh-huh.
toilet paper start leaving the shelves, like, oh my god.
You must have
Um,
been worried sick about Christina with her all the way in Argentina.
yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is that cases down there at the time were almost nothing. Like, but it was that what was changing is that uh, the fact that Canada was shutting down in the U.S., all the
Hmm.
flights leaving Argentina just were drying up by the minute. So we were
Oh
just worried that we
man.
would be able to get her home at all. So
Right.
we fortunate enough that she did get a flight. It was like 30 hours to get back to Vancouver, and then yeah, it was crazy. And then we didn't feel like quarantine. At the time, I had an apartment in Vancouver, and we didn't feel like quarantining in an apartment because like you literally can't leave the front door, the elevators and stuff. So
Yeah.
what we did was where I'm from, Salt Spring Island, we just rented a little cabin in the woods and
Oh.
had a wood stove. We had some friends bring us groceries. So, but there at least we could step outside, go for walks
Yeah,
down the street because you don't see anybody, you know.
right.
So, so that was nice to come back to. But yeah, anyways, to your point, give that shoot. Like it wasn't as fun as some of the past ones, just given the state of the
Right.
world, you know. Yeah, everyone was pretty
Absolutely.
concerned.
Oh, I can imagine. Let's talk about the real reason why we're here. You've got Cross Country Christmas coming up for Hallmark Channel. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you can tease? Can you give us a tiny little blurb of what
um,
the movie's about?
yeah, I mean, it's essentially, you know, it's very much like a planes, trains, and automobiles type story. It's, you know, two people trying to get home for Christmas.
Yeah.
Flights are grounded, and so it's, you know, by any means necessary. So, you know, we're talking trains, we taxis, cars. We buy a dog grooming van, but like any means necessary to get home for Christmas.
A
So it's fun. I
dog
think what's
grooming
interesting.
van?
Yeah, it's a long story.
Oh my
Watch the movie.
goodness. I will. I intend to.
Um, but it was fun. I found what it was fun about this one was that it kind of broke the mold of the traditional Christmas movie in
Uh-huh.
that it's more of an adventure. You know, us getting home. It's a little more comedic. We find ourselves in very compromising, not not
Yeah,
compromising, but like
I gotcha.
you
I
know, just
gotcha.
you know, all sorts of twists and turns along the way that we have to sort of deal with,
Sure.
but yeah, it was unique in that aspect, and it was a lot of fun.
And what was your favorite thing about working with Rachel Lee Cook?
Everything, yeah, she was really just a treat to work with. Kind, grounded, uh, still really puts in the work to make, you know, every project she does is the best it can be.
Uh-huh.
Um, which isn't always the case with some actors, you know. Some people become
Oh
complacent
yeah.
and, you know, just sort of dial it in or phone it in, but that's not the case with her. So it was every day on set was fun, full of laughs, and yeah, it was a real treat.
So now this is something that I am very curious about personally because it's the case with me so many times. You are 6'2", she's 5'2", I'm 5'3", and my husband is actually 6'2", and so I know how difficult it is to try to take an elevator up for a good night kiss.
Right.
So was that a struggle at all? Just the sheer height difference at all?
Nah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a difference of a foot, you know?
Mhm.
And you know, you throw a 2-inch heel on, and you know, you're making up some ground there, and you know that gap gets smaller, and
That
you know,
helps.
maybe an apple box or two for close-ups. But no, it wasn't. You know, it didn't even cross my mind.
Did you guys have to use apple boxes a time or two for some shots?
Uh, yeah, that's just sort of inevitable, no matter
Right.
what your height is. Yeah, not for me though. I've never been given an apple box.
Something tells me that I believe that one.
Maybe don't stand up so straight, or can you squat a little bit? Um,
To end the segment, we always have a fun little teen beat question, but since we are in our holiday season, we have a Christmas teen beat for you. So, are you
what am I
ready?
doing? Is it a song?
No, no, no. It's a kind of a speed fire question.
Oh, if you said Team Beat, and I thought maybe it was a song, like a Christmas song, I had to guess.
Oh no, teen beat where we just ask you a bunch of fun Christmas questions. All right.
Fire away.
Favorite holiday drink?
Uh, oh, that's a good one. Probably like a mulled wine.
Oh, okay. Favorite holiday cookie or treat?
My grandma's oatmeal chocolate chip cookies.
Ooh, those sound delicious. Favorite Christmas song, Mr. Musician?
They don't like Christmas songs, but
Oh,
if I had to choose one,
I'm telling.
I'd go for Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, Bing Crosby.
I love that one.
If
All right.
if there's going to be Christmas music, I'd really like the classics, you know?
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you all the way. I love that's probably the Christmas song that you just mentioned. That's probably one of my all-time favorites. So yeah, love that one.
You ask, I don't know if you're interviewing Rachel at all, but if you talk to her, it's probably going to be We Three Kings.
I will verify that.
Yeah. Just,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Favorite Christmas movie classic?
Christmas Story.
That's a great one. I love that one. Favorite holiday tradition?
We used to, my parents have since split, but when they were together, we used to do this Christmas Eve. We'd have a little fire outside in our backyard, a little campfire, and we would roast marshmallows and dip them in Baileys, which is really
Wow.
highly recommend.
Okay.
S'mores out of this. You can make a Bailey's s'more.
Okay. All right. Duly noted.
Yeah.
Scrooge or the Grinch? Sorry, what?
The Grinch.
The Grinch. Okay. Clear lights or colored?
Lights and the white lights. All of them.
Ooh.
I don't know. Is that a debate? Do people really, are they like
Oh, yeah.
clear light people and then like colored lights people?
Yep.
Wow. No, any light.
I personally am a colored light person. White lights have their place, but too much white for me. I love colors.
Mm-hmm. Go big or go home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Snowball fight or snowman? Would you rather have a snowball fight or would you rather build a snowball fight? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a good gift wrapper?
I'm pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can really dial in those edges and corners, tape it down perfectly, get that perfect V on the end. Oh yeah.
Curly ribbon?
Yeah, I used to love when my mom would wrap gifts, like taking the scissors and ripping them up. So satisfying.
I still do that. So
yeah. I tried to do that with my hair to curl it, but it didn't work.
Did you end up with a bald spot?
Came out. Yeah. Do not try that at home.
Also, duly noted. And what is your ugliest Christmas sweater?
Oh, I don't have a Christmas sweater. I did
Christina,
wear a really ugly
gift idea.
Yeah, right. I did wear a very ugly Christmas sweater in Cross Country Christmas. So if you want to see the ugliest Christmas sweater of all time, watch that movie.
Oh, I am going to look for that then. That will, I'm sure that will be very satisfying to see you in an incredibly ugly Christmas sweater.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It takes the cake.
Well, Greyston, thank you so much for coming on and talking about everything. This has been a true treat. Do you have any social media that you want to shout out to our listeners?
Yeah, I have Instagram. What is it, babe? Is it Greyston H?
Don't know.
I think it's Greyston H.
It's Greyston Holt.
No, it's Greyston Holt. At Greyston Holt. It's my name. That makes sense.
Okay.
Greyston Holt. Yeah.
Excellent.
I think my Twitter is Greyston H. That's what it is, but I never use that. Instagram, Greyston Holt.
All right. And everybody, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Cami Drama Girl, and on Facebook, the Hooked Hardy Facebook page, and my blog is hookedhardy.com. And if you want to hear our recap of the Signed, Sealed, Delivered episode, Soulmates, that is also on Deliver Me a Podcast. And don't forget to follow the Hallmarkies podcast all over social media. Hallmarkies Pod, Hallmarkies Podcast. If you're listening on iTunes, please give us a 5-star review. And if you're watching on YouTube, then please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you so very much, and Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye.
Merry Christmas.